let's take a look at a few of the coins that came across my table at the last coin show that I ended up buying. Some of these are suspicious. Hey collectors, thanks for watching. I'm the collector of coins, and that's right, as I said in the introduction, I bought a bunch of coins over the weekend at the last coin show I was at. I get set up as a dealer and people bring coins to sell, and these are some of the things that I picked up. There's some things in here that are a little suspicious, and we'll talk about them. Hey, if you're not yet a subscriber, and I notice that most of my viewers are not subscribers, please consider subscribing to my channel. It certainly helps the algorithm. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, share it with a friend, and let's get started. All right, now, as you can see, we got some really interesting things here. We got a Morgan dollar, we have a Franklin half dollar, we have a proof 40% silver Eisenhower dollar, we got a 1901 Indian cent that's in a AU58, high about uncirculated condition that's already slabbed in PCGS holder. We have a really nice looking Buffalo nickel, and we have a cool standing Liberty quarter. Let's take a look at each of these. I'll tell you what I paid for them. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with them. Some I may keep in my collection, some I may sell, and some of these may be counterfeits. And so we're going to focus on how do we discern from original authentic coin from a counterfeit coin. So can you tell which coins, if any, in front of me are counterfeit? Could it be this Morgan dollar, 1884? I think this is from New Orleans. Let's take a look underneath the microscope. All right, well, as you can see, we have a number of impairments on the field, but this is a genuine Morgan dollar. It weighs correctly, it's designed correctly, and more importantly, it tests correctly. So I did test this. This is 90% silver. It's a nice Morgan. It's uncirculated, but this would probably get an MS62 grading given the impairments in the main fields and in the face. All right, let's talk about how much I paid for it and how much I think it's worth. All right, so this is a common date Morgan dollar. The many out there, it doesn't have a ton of value relative to some of the others which have low mintage, but still has value, and it's a great type coin for any collector. I paid around $45 for it. It's worth up to $75. I would think I'd be lucky to sell it around $60. And that's what dealers look for. They look to make around 20 to 30% margin on coins. But this was a great pickup, and I was really happy to see this at my table. All right, well, we have here a 1924 Buffalo nickel. It's in really nice shape. 24D, desirable date, a lot of details. This could be an uncirculated specimen if it was genuine. This, unfortunately, is a counterfeit. We're gonna, how did I know? Well, let's see here. The color's a little off. Something about it that just stuck out as being off. I think that's the only way I can explain it. The weight is pretty close. It's not perfect. But let me show you underneath a different microscope the date, and we can compare it with a PCGS photo grade site on what a 1924 Buffalo nickel should look like. The other thing I would say is you look around Liberty, there's a little bit of a fuzziness or softness. It's not a crisp strike. Now, that could be a weak strike, but nickels are hard to strike, and generally speaking, in this condition, that should not be fuzzy. All right, let's take a look underneath a stronger microscope. So I want you to look at the 2 and the 4 very carefully here. Okay, and let's call up another image to compare. All right, if we look at these two photos side by side, with the one on the right being from the PCGS photo grade site and the one on the left being the one that I purchased, you can see that the dates look very different, especially the 2 and the 4. The 9 is pretty different as well. And so that gave me a clue, as well as the fact that the coin just looked a little different, a little off. So this is a counterfeit, and it came across my table, and I thought it was cool. I knew it was a counterfeit. You know, I paid $1 for it. And if I didn't detect that this was counterfeit, in this condition, which is probably close to uncirculated, MS62, let's say, I might have paid $400 for it instead of $1. Now, I'm not reselling this. This is going in my private collection. I like pulling particularly good counterfeit coins out of the market. This is pretty decent, but again, it's not quite right, and I was very lucky that I could pick it up. So what's the lesson here? Study coins before you buy them. Do a comparison on the photos from the grading services like PCGS, and pay attention to the details. And as you see, if I get a little closer, look at the graininess. It just doesn't look right. All right, so we talked about two coins that came to my table that I picked up. Here we have a certified coin. Now, I verified that this was not a counterfeit holder. It's got the PCGS logo there. It's got the hologram. And more importantly, I went to the certification site to look up that cert number, and it's a legitimate certification, and it goes back to this exact coin with the same date and the grade. So again, pay attention to slabs as well. They can be counterfeit. In this case, this is genuine. What a nice looking example of a 1901 about uncirculated Indian cent. So this coin I paid about $18 for. It's worth about $25. I don't know if I'm going to sell it. I might keep this. This is kind of a nice example and might be nice to build an AU Indian cent collection. All right. That's a good pickup. Let's take a look at the next piece here. All right. Pretty attractive bicentennial 40% silver Eisenhower dollar. This one is authentic. It's not a counterfeit. Proof coins are especially difficult to counterfeit. You need a highly polished planchet. You need very strong die pressure. And frankly, I think they're just very challenging to counterfeit. Not saying that you can't come across some, but I would think visually it would be off. This one is not. This one's great. I paid about $5 for it. It's worth probably about $12, $13. Pretty nice looking cameo proof coin. Another nice pickup. All right, let's look at this Standing Liberty quarter. I love Standing Liberty quarters. A couple came by my table at the same time. This one was the nicest one in terms of condition. There's wear. As you can see, it's missing some details. Let's take a look underneath the strong microscope. And it's counterfeit. And I knew it was counterfeit when I purchased it. And just look at the graininess again. The lack of detail. I mean, let's really look at the eagle here. And more importantly, let's get on the other microscope here. Get a nice view of it. It just looks off. And what's particularly suspicious is that. What date is that? They didn't mint Standing Liberty quarters in 1910. They did mint them in 1916. It's an incredibly rare one. This doesn't look like a 6. They did mint them in 1918. And there was a famous error of 1918/7. This one is off. It would be nice if it was genuine. And I did pick it up with two others that were genuine. Now, I don't think the owner knew this was counterfeit, but I basically paid for the three of them below silver melt because I thought this one was indeed counterfeit. So I paid $5 a piece. So the two that are silver are worth probably about $9 a piece.
So basically I paid $1 for this if you kind of like do a blended average. But again, it just looks off. The color is off. It doesn't feel like silver. The reading's pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty decent counterfeit like the Buffalo nickel. And I did test it afterwards. I didn't have my tester with me. I tested it at home. It is not silver. So I'm happy to pull this out of circulation. But again, really study coins, and that messiness with the date kind of like nailed it for me. Not a genuine coin.